tèmi, ẹ mà káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mi lórí YouTube. Orúkọ mi ni Moyinolúwa. Hello everyone, it's good to have you. It's also good for me to be here. Today it's story time on my vlog, and today I want to tell you about how NYSC shocked me. NYSC is a National Youth Service Corps. It's a program set up by the Nigerian government to involve Nigerian graduates in nation building and also in the development of our dear country, Nigeria. So typically what happens is when you're done with your final exams in your university and you are cleared as a graduate, your name is sent to the NYSC for them to process your deployment. NYSC is really like a cultural exchange. I come from Ogun State. It's possible that I am taken to Zamfara or Anambra State, for NYSC. And people over there to come around here for a duration of 11 months thereabouts. After you're done, you can go back to your base and life continues for you. NYSC is so important in the life of a Nigerian graduate because you cannot get a good job without presenting an NYSC discharge certificate, and the discharge certificate is issued out to you after you're done with your NYSC. So you see how that works. That's why it's really compulsory for every Nigerian graduate to participate in NYSC. However, there is also an exemption. I think if you're above 30 years, you would be exempted from NYSC. So you'll be presented an exemption certificate. So back to my story. So I couldn't go with the first batch of people that were deployed for NYSC. Something about some issues with my department's result being processed late and all that. Moving on. So it was time for the second batch, and I was getting ready to go. I really wanted to serve in Lagos, majorly because I wanted to get good quality experience that could help me secure a good job after NYSC. As a good girl, I was trying to plan my life after NYSC. But what did NYSC do? I was deployed to Edo State, and I was like, sure, NYSC, be nice now. But I really didn't mind because I felt like Edo was not too far. Edo is there now, 7 hours away. Gorona. I would have been worried if I was given somewhere farther from home, especially because I didn't want to go too far from home. And what happens with NYSC is like 2 or 3 days after you get your deployment, I'm not sure it's up to a week, you're expected to report to the orientation camp in your state of deployment. Thankfully, one of my dear friends was also posted to Edo State, so she was my ride or die. We were running it together, we traveled together, and we found our way down to Edo State. One of the things I enjoyed about camp was, one, I was part of OBS, that's the Orientation Broadcasting Service. They're like the media team in camp. They cover events, they have shows, they give out announcements to the whole camp. That was like my first introduction to life as probably like a radio presenter on OAP. I felt like I was feeling myself, on air personality, and all that. The experience was interesting. I met interesting people. We had interesting talks. It's just pretty much what I like to do. So OBS was fun for me. And one thing that was fun but not so fun for me was that I was the female platoon leader for my platoon. It was not easy. Jesus God, it was not easy. I think there was a time I almost burst into tears. I burst into tears because I was tired. We needed to get chairs, but nobody was willing to go with me, or something around that. Aside that, my platoon guys were awesome. I'm sure they used to see me like, who is this Kurubete girl that's always running up and down? I was very active like that on camp. So it was cool. Orientation camp was for 3 weeks and came to an end after the 3rd week. And so let us see where we were deployed to. I was a member of OBS, so I was low-key hoping that I'd get to the capital city because I already made plans. So eventually, the day of reckoning came and we were presented. They were calling our names and giving us our slips to tell us the slip that contained where we were posted to. So I got my slip and I looked at it. I couldn't even pronounce where I was posted to. I was like, what is this? Okay, now. So my friend who I mentioned earlier, who was posted to Edo State with me, checked hers too. I'm sure she couldn't pronounce the name too. So we came together. We're not like, where did you go? Where were you posted? Where were you posted to? We were posted to the same place. Yeah, NYSC wrapped us in a ball like this and did, you know the way they throw discus, just say that, phew. I was like, God, Kiru Kilele, bye. So we got going. On that last day of camp, you see different buses taking people to different local governments and all that. So we got in and we started going. And we were going. You know, being in Lagos, right? Even if you're going from Ikorodu, for example, to Aja, you would not see just plantations, or you won't just see bushes everywhere. Do you get? You see civilization, at least you see houses, you see companies and all that. But this one was just pushed to the left, to the right. We were just going. I was like, jeez, how would this work? So eventually we landed there, and I was shocked. We were actually posted to a village. And I was like, why? But why? Like, this was not the deal, NYSC. Why you do this to me? We're just hoping they will reject us there and we can do a redeployment and go to Benin City. We were actually rejected. Thankfully, we're happy. They didn't need teachers that taught what we studied in school, and I think they needed teachers that could teach science subjects, and we couldn't. So they rejected us, and we were grateful, and we had to travel down to our local government inspector's office, the LGI's office. And you know, the funny thing is the LGI's office is even now so far from where we were posted to, and you know, clearance is every week. So would this mean that we'll have to be going down every week to do clearance? It was just really thought-provoking, and it was just, I don't even know, I don't have the words. So eventually we went to our LGI and we tried to tell her, Ma, we cannot survive here. We want to go to Benin. She was just looking at us. I'm sure she's already used to coppers coming and going, wanting to leave where they were posted to. So she was just like, she doesn't have the power to post people outside her zone, and she can only post us where she is. That would we take somewhere around where the office was? We're like, no problem, we can manage that one. Okay, and they gave us the place. It was a village too. Like, our consolation was the fact that it was closer to where the LGI's office was. So we're like, okay, let's do it. So what am I bringing from this my old story? I'm getting there. Please stay with me. So you know, I've talked about two shockers now. Getting posted to Edo State, getting posted to somewhere in the inner part of Edo State, you know, so far away from Benin City. Eventually, what I feared, that I didn't want to teach, I didn't want to do that, I had to teach eventually. So what I used to do was, whenever we're on holidays, as per your teaching, there'll be holidays, you know, in between. I'll just take that time to travel to Benin City, get some experience working as an intern in one of the firms there, you know, and that was really cool. At least it helped me. I was familiar with how life after NYSC would be. I was also making plans. So one of the things that I enjoyed about teaching during NYSC was the fact that it gave me time. The holidays, the times that I didn't have to show up in school, whenever we had our clearance and we could go back home after the clearance, you know, I had the opportunity to do other things. That was the period I was just applying for jobs. I used that time to prepare for job tests, the GMATs, the SHL and co. Use that time to prepare for it. Use that time to prepare myself for interviews. So this is just to let you know that sometimes teaching during NYSC is not totally a bad thing, right? You can use that time to keep yourself engaged. You want to enjoy yourself, right? Enjoy yourself, but ensure that you're thinking about life after NYSC and you're making plans accordingly. Use that time to prepare for job interviews and all that. I think I had to travel down to Lagos like twice or so for a job, for a job interview, and that was a job I applied for during that NYSC period. Thankfully, job applications now, most of the processes can be completed from start to finish online without them even seeing you physically. It's probably maybe when you're successful, they'll now say, okay, you can come in for verification and all that. So it really gave me that exposure, and I'm totally grateful for it. Myself and my friend even organized like a career session for the children, just to like encourage them, to let them know that they can be more than what they think they are. They can be so much more, and they shouldn't let being in the rural community limit their greatness. So in all, NYSC was, it could have been fun, it could have been more interesting, but I think I played it safe a lot. I didn't want to, go overboard with trying to enjoy my life, or it's NYSC, let's ball and all that. Always indoors, studying. Thank God for the internet, the network was not so bad. Studying, watching movies, going to church. I'm just so grateful eventually that I'm better for it. NYSC wasn't a bad experience after all, and even though I didn't get to serve in Lagos, serving in Edo State wasn't a bad thing. I enjoyed it. I also had the opportunity to travel to the capital city a lot of times. I still got to have experiences that were different from my Lagos experience, and I'm really grateful for it. Guys, this is the end of my video. God, I didn't know I was such a talker. Please, if you can share some of your NYSC experiences, please put them down in the comment section and let's get talking. Till I come your way in the next video on my channel. Odabo! Have you met my hair? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.